Hello, it's Alex the Toy Man again from Fun with Comics and Toys, and I want to welcome you to another exciting episode of our weekly comic book / toy haul series. This is episode 6, if you can believe it already. And boy, oh boy, do we have quite a bit of comic books. Of course, we have our usual trade of the week and our toy from the PC collection or something I bought this week. And if you haven't done so already, please smash that like button and subscribe, as I would really appreciate your support here at Fun with Comics and Toys. Without further ado, let's get started and roll the beautiful beam footage. Okay, let's get started, people, with some good books for us. And man, we got a lot of cool stuff here in store for you guys today. So stick with us. But anyway, without further ado, here is our current pull list books that we get from the local comic book shop here in San Antonio. Spider-Man, Spider Shadow, number 2. And they're kind of bringing back the What If series again in a way. And this definitely is What If stories. Kind of the basic premise is what if Peter had just let the symbiote overtake him and, just fulfilled those darker desires that he had. And but of course, the Peter Parker we know, he rejected the symbiote and the dark desires that it had, like to kill and murder people in cold blood, stuff like that. But this is a what if story if he had just let it run its course, I guess you could say. And poor Mary Jane right there on the cover. Haven't read the first issue yet, but I will be. I've been hearing a lot of high praise on this book. So moving on. All right, we got our first cover appearance of Miracle Molly on Batman 108. Doing a little bit of speculation on this book. I'm hoping that she just has even a quarter of the success that Punchline has. I mean, Punchline during 2020, just blew up. I don't know if it's because of COVID or, just a good character. I think it's just a good character in general, and COVID partly too because people probably were reading more, the books more, I think. People had more times on their hands to kind of explore some of these new characters, in my opinion. But anyway, moving on. Here is a really nice cover B Batman 108 of Miracle Molly. Really cool cover. I think it's I think it's Artgerm. Yeah, I think Artgerm drew this. Yeah, I see a signature. He's one of my favorites. But he's not for everybody. A lot of people think he's a little too polished, I guess you could say, but I think it's good stuff. Also, I'm starting this new series called Future State Gotham. Kind of going into that whole Magistrate storyline, like what that's basically about, and I find it very fascinating to see what future Gotham is going to look like. Okay, next up is a book that, man, I gotta say, it creeps me out, but it is so good too at the same time. Damon Colony's You Promised Me Darkness, number 2. Man, isn't that the most creepiest cover you've ever seen? But Behemoth, you just never know, so I'm just picking it up. I've been kind of hearing some mixed reviews on the story. We'll see. I'll see for myself. Oh, and here we go. This is another big issue. Fantastic Four 32, the variant edition by Peach Momoko. Variant. Man, isn't that just like a piece of artwork? And this is basically Dr. Doom tying the knot. This is the Bride of Doom. We don't know who she is yet. Can't wait to read this and see what Dan Slott does, the writer of this book. I've been hearing that he's been going back to basics with what made Fantastic Four great in the beginning. Next up, another big book that a lot of people have been reading, Star Wars The High Republic, number 5. And of course, Your boy did too. I'm just specking on it because I've been hearing rumors of possibly a TV show. Now we got Scout's Honor number 5, the final issue. The first issue really intrigued me. The basic premise is, what if the world will fall into disarray and it's a post-apocalyptic world where we just followed the Boy Scouts code of honor, basically. And this is the final issue. I want to see what happens. I've been hearing that the finale was great. Looking forward to reading that. Next up, Grimm Fairy Tales 48. Love these covers, are so beautiful. Next up, we have War of the Bounty Hunters Director's Cut, and I picked up this up because I want to see behind the scenes of the story, but also I wanted to see this like shadow armor kind of displayed on the cover. I thought that was pretty sick. Yeah, so that's why I got that. Next up, the Strange Academy. Looks like they're going to their first field trip to Asgard. Really been enjoying that series, Strange Academy. Scotty Young and Roberto Ramos are doing a really cute story, and it's just fun. It's just a fun story. I like it. Really enjoyed it. Now back to one of our Dynamite covers from Dynamite Publishing, Vampirella versus Purgatory, issue 3. And this is a Derek Chu cover for the main. Love that cover. He just draws beautifully the female anatomy, I guess you could say. Next up, we have one of my favorite books that came out this week, Joker 3, and it's like a playing card variant. And this is from Finch. Finch's artwork here. Freaking amazing. Next up, we have Ice Cream Man 24. One more issue to go before we hit 25. This is the variant edition. And if you guys are not reading Ice Cream Man, you guys gotta need to read it. Maxwell Prince is doing something quite different in comics today. And I love his issues because they have powerful messages and underlying tone of, like, I guess like a moral to a story, and shows you all these stories of dismay, and it's just very relatable to today's world. I think this is like one of the best books out there for as far as comic book writing. Next up, we got Star Wars, The War of the Bounty Hunters. This is the Christopher variant, and he does usually like like an action figure and stuff like that. I like that. It's kind of like a toy action figure. Usually I typically don't buy them, but this one I just liked it because it had the shadow armor as well. I'm really digging this whole shadow armor business, as you can see. Next up, I think this might be the final issue of Children of the Grave, number 5. I think this might be the last one. It's a pretty interesting story. Next up, another one I'm looking forward to reading, Justice League Last Ride by Chip Zdarsky. And I've been hearing some rave reviews on this issue. DC has been really coming out with some A-class content, for sure. Looking forward to reading this. Another favorite from Aftershock, as you know. I'm a big Aftershock person. Maniac of New York, number 4. And remember, this is like Jason Voorhees just gone wild, basically. Just like nobody's stopping him. He's unkillable. That's basically the type of character this is. And Elliot Kalan and Andrea Muti are just killing it on this book. I really love it. Next up, we finally get an issue of Black Cotton #2. It's been a long time. Issue 1 came out, I think, like 3 months ago. They're just barely coming out with issue 2. Scout tends to do that with their #1s. They'll come out with a #1, and then it'll be a couple of months later, then they'll start going down the numbering. The premise of this book is very different, and I like the direction it's taking. Issue 1 didn't really impress me, but I'm hoping it picks up in issue 2. The premise is, what if black people were switching the places of white people? Like, what if the roles were reversed? And the white people were the minority, and the black people were like the white people. And the privileged people, I guess you could say. So it's pretty political. May not be for everybody, but I think this is going to be an interesting road that this book is taking, for sure. Next up, another series that you got to be reading, The Silver Coin #2 from Image Comics. If you're not on this series, get on it as soon as possible. Each of these stories are like self-contained stories. The first one was by Chip Zdarsky, and now we're doing this one with Kelly Thompson and Michael Walsh, Girls of Summer, and I've heard many good things about this issue, that it's really good. Issue #1 was strong. They said it just keeps it going. Like I said, get on this book, people, if you want a good read. And if you like horror, like I do, it's just good stuff. Looks like Geiger's back with issue #2. Very cool cover. This is one of the variant editions, I believe. And this is another book you guys should be picking up. Jeff Johns and Gary Frank is doing something pretty special on Geiger. Something very original. And here is Ice Cream Man #24, the main cover this time. I got both covers. And I'm really going to be digging this telethon about a person that needs a life-saving surgery, but nobody's raising money, basically. He's having a lot of trouble getting money raised to save his life. And like I said, Ice Cream Man is just extremely original. Stories that you wouldn't even think to tell. That he tells Maxwell Prince. He does. Really good. Can't say enough about him. And it looks like we're already on the prenuptial chapter of The Recount, #4 from Scout Comics. Yeah, this book was another good book here. The basic premise is, like, what if the people, America, just started standing up to these said corrupt politicians, but let's just say they take it up to a very extreme measure, which means like anybody that supported this person to be elected president or anybody who voted for them are now going to be targets. And I think it's extremely relevant to today's politics. It's a good read. That's all I'll say. Geiger #2, the main cover, I believe. This is the main, I believe. Really cool stuff. I like that it's kind of done in that DC format with the little checker. That's what DC used to do on their old comics from the 60s. Next up, like I said, Man-Thing is making a resurgence. X-Men Curse of the Man-Thing. Really cool. I believe that's the variant. Let's see. Yep, that was the variant. And another variant edition that I think is just freaking awesome is the next Batman, Second Son, #2. That is a Francisco Mattina cover. And it is absolutely stunning. I mean, you just got to put that on a wall or something. That's just a freaking awesome cover. But one thing that is not awesome is the price uppage that DC Comics is doing. And I do not agree. But it is a different discussion for another time. Here's the main cover for the same issue. It looks like we got issue #2 of The Detective. There we go. Let me put that right there. Here we go. Andy Kubert, main cover. Love Andy Kubert's artwork on Batman. And you can't beat it with Tom Taylor writing too. Man, some good stuff. And then let's see what we got here. Yes, some pickups that I picked up at the Half Price Books. Got lucky. Found an Elektra #1. Very cool. Things like from like volume 3 or something. But hey, I'll pick up a #1. Here's another hot series that came from the past. Justice League Dark #3. It's just a filler issue, but I'm just specking on this year, hoping that the values will go up quite a bit, especially when the HBO starts doing that Justice League Dark show, what I've been like hearing rumblings about. Hope it's true. Here's #4. I think someone took the 2 and the 1. Those are the ones that are the most valuable right now. Here's Greg Rucka's run on Elektra, #7, with a Greg Horn cover. I love the way Greg Horn drew Elektra. Beautiful stuff. It's just a name you just don't hear too often, is Greg Horn. I don't know why he has such killer artwork. Here's #8. Isn't that beautiful? It's a beautiful Greg Horn. And these are just main covers. They're not variants or nothing like that. They're just the main covers. Really nice. Like I said, Half Price, they had quite a few of them, so I picked up all the ones that were there for the most part, except for the ones that were really beat up. Issue #5. Issue #11. Very cool stuff. And then I think this is the last Elektra issue that we picked up. Issue 31. Profit and Loss, Part 3. Trying to zoom through this stuff a little bit. Oh yeah. Legends of the Dark Knight #1 is finally made a comeback. Oh man, I love Legends of the Dark Knight. And this is said to be like kind of like a classic story, with the Joker, Mr. Freeze, and Penguin. I really dig this artwork. The artwork inside too is really cool too, besides the cover. It's a new series they're starting. Next up is The Return. After being on hiatus, Al Ewing's We Only Find Them When They're Dead. #6. It's come back. They were on hiatus for a couple of months. I read all of them. They were really interesting for sure. And I can't wait to see what they do. Next up is going to be Radiant Black, #4. This is it, folks. It's a major turning point in the series. I love Kyle Higgins' writing on this book. Extremely, relevant to me, and I just kind of connected to the author on this book, and I like that he was kind of digging the stuff that I was digging back in the day in the 90s, and he kind of just uses that in this writing style to kind of bring this new character to life. And I'm really digging Radiant Black. Really cool series. And like I said, very relatable, like talks about that this guy has some financial problems, and I think we've all been there, right? Like our debt is too high, and trying to pay off credit card debt. And that's one of the things that it kind of touches upon in these books. Next up is Phantom on the Scan, #2 by Cullen Bunn and Mark Torres artwork. And I'm looking forward to this. The premise is basically like this comet is about to pass through Earth, or something to do with a comet that brings out these maybe abilities, I guess you could say, in people. And I just found the whole concept very interesting. And Cullen Bunn, you can't go too wrong. Can't go too wrong with his story writing. He's definitely a fan favorite for sure. Oh man, and the return of Stillwater. I'm going to be probably doing a comic book time or a review at the very least of Stillwater. Stillwater is something definitely you should be picking up. This is Chip Zdarsky. He's just been killing it. He's on a roll, to be honest with you, and he just keeps it going. His storytelling is really good in Daredevil. If you ever read his Daredevil run, it's just and it's still going on. I don't know how much longer he's going to be on that book, but it's a killer book, and Stillwater is no exception. Okay, people, I know I said that I wouldn't pick up Berserker no more, but these covers are just too fire. Even if the story sucks, I like these covers. There's Mr. Keanu Reeves himself killing a saber-toothed tiger. Doesn't get any better than this, like Gambit would say. But for Berserker, it's just cover buys, not actually buying ever the story. Now for the finale from Vault Comics, I Walk with Monsters. Kind of want to see how they do to wrap it up. It seems that every issue I just burn through it real fast. I don't know how they're going to wrap it up. I've been kind of hearing that maybe it didn't wrap up so good. I'm hoping that I just kind of lowered the bar, and I'm hoping that it was good enough for me. That's all I care about. If it's good enough for me, then it's good enough. If I'm satisfied with it. I don't know about the masses, but I would like to be satisfied. I'm hoping for the best. Here's We Only Find Them When They're Dead, the variant edition. And it's kind of like, reminds me of like a stained glass type of effect here going. This variant is beautiful. Next up, another book everybody should read, Nightwing 80, the variant edition. Nice, like cardstock variants. Next up, another killer story by Mark Russell, the life story of the Fantastic Four, the 60s, #1. And it looks like Marvel's going that direction where they're doing all these like what if stories or just like talking about the life and times of our most famous Marvel superheroes. Like this is kind of like an answer to Spider-Man's life story, which I heard was really good. Didn't get a chance to read it. Heard it was exceptional. And it was by Chip Zdarsky, but this time it looks like we got Mark Russell on this one at the helm, doing the Fantastic Four life story in the same style. It looks really interesting, and also the artwork is like really killer in the inside. Next up, the War of the Bounty Hunters Prelude issue. This is issue 13 of just the regular Star Wars comic line. Moving along. And our last pickup, War of the Bounty Hunters tie-in for Bounty Hunters, issue number 12. Can't believe it's already hitting a year already on issue 12. Okay. Now for the vintage portion, or the good stuff, as a lot of people call it. Next up is the Forever People, #5. Yeah, these are getting harder and harder to find. Still haven't completed my Forever People run. I do have issue number 1, which I'm very pleased I got many years ago. But definitely, it's kind of falling apart. It's like scary even how much disintegration it is. Like it wants to disintegrate on me. But I keep it in a nice Mylar to kind of preserve it as much as possible. But anyway, another killer issue from Jack the King Kirby. Next up is Raven the Bold, 97. We're safe now. What couldn't be scaring them off? Plus the origin of the Dead Man. Love the Dead Man. Really cool stuff. Here we go. We have a Thor Special Marvel Edition #4. It's in really good shape too. Really happy to have that in the collection. Next up is Fear #4. These you're seeing them less and less now. You gotta pull the trigger when you see them. Here is America's Best TV Comics. This looks like this would be a good candidate for a cleaning process. And yes, I've started to dabble with cleaning. So looking forward to that journey as well. Let me know if you, in the comment section, if you want me to maybe do one live on a video sometime. I could always do that. That'd be pretty exciting. Next up is Giant Size Marvel Triple Action number 2. Next up, Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane 104. Some nice giant size DC comics. Lois Lane's Greatest Scoops. Next up, we got a really old Marvel Tales number 4. 25¢, and these were like pretty big giant size from the Silver Age. Very expensive back in the day. As I don't know if you can see it right there. Really thick book. Next up, we have Thor 288. Just a filler issue, but definitely some vintage goodness. So I had to pick that one up. The House of Mystery 260. Contract with the Devil. Do you dare enter the House of Mystery? 4 sinister shockers. Next is Haunted Love number 1. And this actually is a reprint from Modern Comics. It was like I believe a Charlton originally on the first print. But or it's like an alternate publisher, I guess you could say. Really cool. Brave and the Bold 106. Plus the Green Arrow. You, not you. Now we have Journey to Mystery number 5. This is the second volume. Now we have Weird War Tales 104. Really cool. See the Superman film part 2 with Christopher Reeves. Next up, we got some GI comeback goodness for you. Issue 267. Another Brave and the Bold, number 99. Kill me before the demon takes over. No, he's lying. There is no demon in me. The man who murdered the past, plus the Viking prince. Ooh. And now to finish off our comic book haul, and I thank you for sticking with us this long. GI Combat number 153. Love that cover. Back her up, Rick. Put her in reverse. It's all clear. And don't ask me why I'm talking like a hit. Okay, moving along. Now for our trades of the week. The first one we're going to be showcasing here is Marvel Masterworks by Stan Lee and Jack the King Kirby. Stan the Man and Jack the King Kirby. This is some cool stuff, people. Give you some splash pages to look at there. Really cool Thor artwork. Really cool. Collect store 131 to 140 plus annual number 2. You can see some of the classic covers there. Actually, I do have some of these originals. Maybe I'll show them off one day. Now for our last trade of the week, the Harvey horror genre, Black Cat mystery comics. This is some Golden Age reprint comics. Really cool stuff that I'm really happy to have it in the good old collection, because it is hard to get Golden Age books in general, and to have a reprint so you can read some of these original stories, it's freaking awesome. I'll show you some of the pages, some of the original artwork there. You would have it, they did like a facsimile even of the ads even, which I thought was really cool. So you feel like you're reading the real thing. Really neat. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? From the golden age of comics right there. Very cool. Okay. Now for our toy section. Let me move this here, and we will show off some toys from my personal collection. Since I didn't pick up anything this week. Let's see here. Okay, this I got is kind of an emotional toy to me. I got this many years ago from my good friend Patrick, and I am very happy to have this. He gave me a really good deal. This is Star Wars, the Clone Wars Battle Pack, the Speeder Bike Recon Unit. Still in the packaging. Really cool stuff. Like I said, a dear friend of mine. He hooked me up with many of the key pieces I have in my Star Wars collection today. And I'm eternally grateful to him. So thank you, Patrick. Next up, have a little bit of die cast for you. I have a 68 Copo Camaro from Hot Wheels Redliners series. You can see it right there. Yeah, really cool car. Next up, Hot Wheels, and this is a 55 Chevy Bel Air gas. Really cool stuff. Try to show up a close-up shot. The gas. Next, we got some more die-cast goodness that I got from a flea market find. I'll say like last month or so. This is the 1950s Batmobile from Corgi Toys. Really cool. This is some good stuff, people. Good stuff. Okay. And then here's the 1960s Batmobile. And like I said, this is all in the original packaging. Maybe not mint, but I'm happy to get them. I probably will take them out of the package sooner or later and put them on display. The Subway Rocket from the 1990s from Batman. I love this Corgi collection. Really cool. And that is going to conclude our video today, people. I thank you for sticking it with us to the very end. I know this is a long video. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. And also subscribe if you haven't done so already, as I really do appreciate the support, people. And thank you to those who have done so. And I'm going to catch you guys next time on the Flippity Flip. Bye for now.